Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc. Makiscoop sa mga puputok na issue. Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc. Mainit na komentaryo, malalimang interview, special report, scoop at tips sa modernang buhay. Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc. At ngayon, narito na ang batikang kolumnista, Journalist of the Year ng Metrobank Foundation, Hall of Fame Journalist and Opinion Writer of the Year ng Rotary Club of Manila, and Golden Dove Awardee, Mr. Jarius Bondoc, kasama si Miss Marisa.
Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, Miss Marisa.
Good morning, Jarius. Good morning, mga kaibigan. And welcome to the September 17 episode of Sapol.
Yan ang paborito ko.
At kilalang-kilala ni Susan Nahera, Hurt by Kalapana. 1975 pa ito.
At kung mapapansin mo, Miss Marisa, rock yan, ano? Mellow rock. Pero halatang-halata mo na Hawaiian.
Tama.
No? Parang may mga kumikembot na mga girls in hula.
Hula skirt.
Oo.
Tapos may swaying palm trees.
Oo, diba? Tapos gaganyan. Tapos yung tampay na dagat. Yun. Parang ka nasa Hawaii o nasa Boracay.
Yan.
Pero Hawaiian na Hawaiian. Ano? Yung Kalapana is a Hawaiian. Was a Hawaiian rock group. Ano? At yung isa sa kanila, may dugong Pinoy daw, pero kung titingnan mo yung retrato nila, yung mga band members, all male, yung sinasabing may Filipino blood. Actually, siya, French-Hawaiian, tsaka Filipino-Hawaiian yung parents niya. Pero mukha siyang Caucasian talaga. Hindi mo maisip ng Pinoy. Palpasarado na. Matangkad.
Ang Pinoy, ano? Yun ang nagpagandang lalaki sa kanya, I'm sure. Yung Pinoy blood.
Oo. Ayan, gustong-gusto ng mga Pilipino sa Hawaiian. Kasi, siyempre, mga bata noong panahon yun, 1975, mga rockers din yan, eh. No? They identified with him. Yan. Ang mga Pinoy nga, pag tinatanong mo, pag nasa Amerika, yung lalo na yung mga original migrants na Filipinos to Hawaii. Pag tinanong mo, ano ka? Pilipino ka? Hindi. Ilocano ako. Two waves yan, of Filipinos, mostly Ilocanos in the early 1900s. Two waves of migrants to Hawaii.
Mostly, di ba, sa plantation farms?
Pineapple, sugarcane, fruit plantations.
Pineapple plantations. Yun. Okay, that was a short history lesson. Happy birthday kay Tita Gretchen Del Rosario, kay Attorney Chod Delfin.
Uy, happy birthday din.
Miss Yoli Crisanto of Globe.
Uy,
kay TESDA Director Susan Patron de la Rama, Chona Sano and Sansi David. And happy birthday kay Diego Bondoc. Happy birthday, Jimmy Policarpio. Yay! Dapat may palakpakan dyan.
Magpapapansit.
At kay Mr. Ray Langit sa 21. Luz Cagingin Lopez ay magbo-birthday sa September 22. And happy birthday kay music teacher and violinist Philip Khalid ng Bacolod. Yun. Happy weekend kay Jaime and Heidi Chua. Ay, alam mo bang pwede palang mag-order dyan sa Duck and Bubet? May naka-arrange na pick up sa curbside ng courier nyo, di ba? Galing. Sarap-sarap pa naman ang food. Jerry Fang, happy weekend. Vanji and Beth Terrano. Robert and Doris Sombillo. Malamang si Robert nag-reminisce din dyan ng mga 1975 na music na pinatugtog mo.
Oo.
Kay Kong Willie Villarama, kumusta na? Oni Nakpil, Dr. Edith Navarro, Dr. Eric Mendiola, and Norbert Chinconco. Good morning kayla Renato Balagtas at mga senior citizens ng HN Nueva Ecija. Kay Engineer Dante Aquino ng Lingayen, Pangasinan. Hello, Oya Vasquez. And happy listening, Mari Cabrera, Mon and Oji Conde ng Imus, Cavite. Kay Jerry Bato, Susan Nahera, of course, Godi Bamba, Christina Mendoza, and Rudy and Livy ng Antipolo. Okay, careful driving, Aga. Good morning kila Ben and Lily Martillo ng Bulacan. Kila Jason and Monique De Leon ng Caloocan. Mamaya mag-text kayo ng inyong mga comments. Mga suki sa Fairview, Quezon City. Mar and Zenny Lee. Andy and Francis Aguila. Ed Nangkil, kumusta ka na? Manong Ed. Relza Magsumbol and the Magsumbol family. Good morning. Hello kila Jera Season, Elmer Ngo, and Malu Yambao dyan sa Elm Seafood Paluto. Kalye Bistro, ever correct?
Nakakagutom. Pag nabanggit pa lang na seafood paluto. Naisip na anak ko, itong gusto kong kainin nga.
Tsaka fresh na fresh.
Pusit.
Mga pictures.
Sarap ng pusit nila doon.
Okay, sa mga gustong mag-comment, mag-react, text nyo lang kami dito sa 0999-376-6768. 0999-376-6768. Don't forget your name and location. You can also catch us on IZTV on Free Channel 23 or via Facebook at YouTube. Puntahan lang ang DWIZ 882 page. We'd love to hear from you.
Yung ginagawa mo, Miss Marisa, parang ka nag-attendance check ng estudyante, no? Isa-isa mong tinatawag, no? Tapos sasabihin mo, mamaya mag-text kayo para mamaya may surprise quiz.
Ayun. Ready with your 1/4 page.
Lengthwise, ma'am, o crosswise?
1/4
Ay, 1/4, hindi wala kang dalang papel siguro. Ganun, ano, mapipingot ako.
Oo. Hello kila Albert Garcia dyan sa Sydney. Hi, Albert. Mike and Ronnie Davidson sa Melbourne. Ernie and Marian Wong sa Montreal. Arnel Romasanta ng Toronto. Anthony Andres sa Cleveland, Ohio. Bert Cruz sa Angeles, Pampanga.
Parang yung mga tinatawag mo na mga from abroad, no? Parang sila kumbaga sa classroom. Nasa labas lang sila kasi wala nang upuan sa loob.
Sasabihin ko sana online sila. Hindi sila
online. Hindi face-to-face.
And Mang Oka Katilo ng Infanta Quezon.
Kaya medyo malapit-lapit yan. Medyo nakapasok yung ulo sa loob ng bintana ng classroom. Ano?
Nakasandal.
Si Manong Oka.
Nakasandal sa ledge ng bintana.
Oo nga. Yun nga, no? Kasi yung mga classrooms natin, ano? Short, ano? Yung nabanggit nga ni Deputy Speaker Ralph Recto, former Senate President pro tempore. He's now a congressman of Batangas, ano? Yung huling interview natin sa kanya ng makalawang Sabado, nabanggit niya, diba? Ang budget lang ng Department of Education for next year na classrooms, ano, is 2,800. New classrooms.
2,800 new classrooms.
Yun lang ang new classrooms na may tatayo sa budget nila. Pero
yan ba yung estudyante natin yearly na additional, no?
Oo. Taon-taon na dadagdagan ng mga estudyante. No?
Parang assembly line yan.
Although nababawasan din. Pero mas marami ang pumapasok kaysa na umaalis. No? Kasi parami ang bata. Yung population tumataas ng almost 2% per year. No? Pero itong sinasabi nga ni Deputy Speaker Ralph Recto, 900,000 ang na-experience ng DepEd this school year. Itong pasukan, enrollment, 900,000 students from private schools lumipat sa public schools. No? And this means we need hindi lang 2,800 classrooms. We need to accommodate them 22,000 new classrooms.
Oh, okay.
Ngayon, hindi pa halata itong shortage natin. Kasi ang face-to-face ngayon, niro-rotate pa lang eh. Once a week or once every 2 weeks. Diba? So, depende sa subject mo. No? Tsaka depende sa grade. Pero pagka yan, face-to-face mo na lahat, na araw-araw na lahat, papasok na, ganyan. Ayan, makikita mo na yung shortage natin. Kailangan talaga may habol dito. Wala nang katapos ang paghahabol natin. The past 2 decades, imbis na maasikaso ng DepEd, yung quality of instruction, tsaka yung instructional materials, yung mga libro na binabanatan nga ni Dr. Antonio Calipogo na pabulok ng pabulok, mga sick books nga kasi kung ano-ano mga mali. Hindi, tsaka may mga may mga bastos sa salita na ginagamit pa. Parang kinakatuwa yung mga bata, no?
Oo.
Kaya,
mga slurs, yung sasabihan mataba, obese, mga ganon.
Oo. Imbis na yan ang mapagtuunan ng pansin ng DepEd, ang hinahabol pa rin ay yung infrastructure side. Ano? Yun nga, yung classrooms, kulang sa classrooms, kulang sa upuan, kulang sa desks. Yun pa rin, no? Tapos, yun nga, yung kulang sa, sa yung mahinaang Wi-Fi connection ng school, tapos kulang sa gadgets yung mga bata, di ba? That's a big problem. Tapos ninakaw pa, 2.4 billion pesos, dinidal, no? Grabe yung issue na yan, ha? Na sa Senate, sinusuri, iniimbestigahan, nagpapasahan yung Department of Education officials, tsaka ang procurement service ng Department of Budget and Management. Kung bakit sino may kasalanan. Lumalabas na namili na, actually pare-pareho silang may kasalanan. Namili na sila yung 35,000 budget per laptop para sa mga public school teachers. Ginawa nilang 58,000 mahigit. No?
Tapos wala pa raw formal na papers na pinipirmahan
so,
na
sa 35,
kumbaga, memorandum of agreement.
Sa 35,000, ang dami mong mabibigyang mga guro, sa 35,000 pesos ang isang laptop na mahusay na. Yan yung yung mga Acer, yung mga gano'n, well, I'll mention some brands sa time ang ganyan. Or yung mga HP, di ba, mga entry level, pero mahuhusay na klase na yan, mabibilis, maganda na, ganyan, Or order ka ng mahusay, Pero bakit ang ginawa nilang 58,000 para top of the line? Ibig sabihin, pang Apple na yan, pang Apple Mac, no?
Hindi pa siguro.
May mga Apple Mac na mas lower level na entry level. Pero hindi tulad ng mga Mac na ginagamit mo, Miss Marisa. Iba yun sa'yo, high-end ka parate.
Hindi naman, hindi ako marunong.
Anyway, kukunti lang nabili nila. Tapos yung kukunti pang binili, walang kwenta pa. Ewan ko kung bakit gano'n ang asal nila.
Oo, di ba? Ang tagal-tagal daw mag-boot, mag-open.
Minsan isang oras na, hindi pa rin nagbo-boot. Ito ang nakakasaklap dyan, nagtuturuan sila, wala pang formal na agreement na bilhin, binili na. Mukhang pinipake nila ngayon, ina-antedate nila yung agreement, ngayon, pino-forge na nila, para lumabas na Mayo pa lang may may pirmahan na kaya binili nila mga ganyan July na totoo ha. Teka, malalaman 'yan. Kayang suriin 'yan kung forgery yan o hindi, di ba? Tapos ngayon, ang Department of Education, ang secretary ngayon, magkakaroon na ng intelligence fund, Tapos
bakit?
Bilang vice president, tumihingi rin siya ng confidential fund, si Sara Duterte. Ang confidential fund, hinihingi niya for 2023, ng Vice President. Actually, yung buong budget niya, 3 times larger than the budget of the Vice President nung panahon ni
tatay niya.
Ni Lenny Robredo. Kasi tinitikis sa budget noon. Pero umuubra, ang dami natutulungan pa rin, di ba? Kasi galing ang ginagawa, galing ng serbisyo. Pero ngayon, kailangan daw i-triple para makapag-gana ng serbisyo. Matumbasan times 3. Pero yung communication, confidential fund pa lang para dito. 1.4 million a day na confidential fund. 1.4 million pesos a day. Hindi kailangan ng resibo dyan. Hindi kailangan ng mga audit. Basta walang resibo yan. Parang baon yan. Gano'n ba ang baon ng mga bata ngayon sa school? Yan. Yun ako. Ganon? Okay.
At ngayon, balikan natin ang programang Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc.
Gustong sumali sa ating usapan. Text nyo kami dito sa Uso pa ba text? Pwede pa 0999-376-6768.
Bakit? Ano ka naman, Miss Marisa? Hindi na uso ang text. Ano ba ngayon?
Kasi marami nang nasa SOCMED
Oo. Pero pwede pa rin naman.
Pwede.
Gusto niya, i-zoom nyo rito
0999-376-6768. Don't forget your name and location. Di ba masaya pag tinatawag ang pangalan? You can catch us on IZTV.
Eh, pag hindi ka handa dun sa recitation, ayaw mong matawag, di ba? Nakaslink kang gano'n yung ulo mo nakatago sa kwelyo kung pwede.
Saan nakatingin, ano? Or, manood kayo sa free channel 23 ng IZTV or via Facebook at YouTube. Go to the DWIZ 882 page. Okay. O sa mga kailangan mag-report, mag-check-in na kayo, ha? Mga kaibigan, para mabasa natin ang inyong mga saloobin.
Yeah. Okay. Miss Marisa, meron na muna tayong good news. Good news in the sense, ano? Hanggat maaari ayaw na natin umaalis kasi mga ating mga kababayan para magtrabaho abroad. Ano? But simply, too few jobs here, di ba? Ang daming unemployed, di ba?
Oo.
Hanggang yan, di ba? Ang dami na wala ng hanap buhay, mga empleyo, lalo na nung panahon ng lockdown. The good news is, meron yung deployment ban ng Pilipinas papuntang Saudi Arabia. Ito yung foremost destination ng mga overseas workers, ano? 700,000 plus, 800,000, ano? There was a time almost 1 million ng Filipinos doon sa Saudi Arabia. Ililift na yung ban starting November 7.
Yeah, that's right, November 7. Eh, paano naman? Ang dami natin mga balitang natatanggap ng mga ina-abuse.
Actually, pero hindi naman mayorya. Hindi majority na abuse. Pero one case is too much, di ba?
Yun sabi, one too many.
Oo, yung one too many, lalo na yung sobrang kalupitan, ano? Ito, ililift na dahil may bagong agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, ang Pilipinas. At ito ay ginawa ng Department of
Migrant
Workers.
Na
at ang head ngayon nito, makakapanayam natin.
Kinokontak pa si Secretary Susan Ople. Ang tagal na niyang involved sa mga di ba?
Oo. Ay, nako, ever since.
At yung kondisyon ng ating mga overseas workers.
Ever since, bata pa siya, in-involved na siya nung ama niya, na dating labor minister, Minister of Labor and Employment, Blas Ople, na naging senador din. In-involved na siya rito sa kosa na ipagtanggol ang kapakanan, karapatan ng manggagawa. At siya naman, ang naging, yung parang, kumbaga, specialization dito sa broad field na ito ay yung mga overseas workers. Ayun, yun ang laking ng tulong kasi yun naging, yun ang inasahan ng mga Pilipino noong 1980s para magkahanap buhay. At
di ba, ang naging downside naman nun, tayo sa Pilipinas ang nawalan ng mga magagaling na electrician, tubero.
Siyempre, hinigop lahat yun nung sinara nga nung 1990 ba sinara yung Clark Field ng US Air Force. They abandoned it, no? Malis na sumabog yung bulkan, tapos hindi magkasundo doon sa extension, yung magkano ibabayad for use of Clark and Subic at yung Camp John Hay sa Baguio, yung magkano, meron kasi silang specialized firefighting team doon
sa
Clark. Kasi US Air Force Base yan Specialized na firefighting team na kaya nilang labanan ng iba-ibang klaseng sunog. Hindi lang yung ordinaryong kasi may classification sa sunog ABC, mga yan.
Depende sa cost.
Yung mga ordinary, ganyan, chemical, hanggang nuclear, gano'n. Alam mo, kinuha sila lahat abroad. Lahat sila to the last man. Pinag-agawan sila. Yung specialista natin, gano'n nangyayari.
Oh, no. Ibig sabihin bawas na naman sa ating magagaling na manpower. Pero, yun lang we cannot hope na ma-approximate yung binibigay ng ibang bansang sweldo sa kanila.
Correct.
Pero siyempre, and, di ba, they are the unsung heroes. Ano nga ba yan? Ang bagong bayani, etc., etc. Maraming ang social cost, pero laking tulong. Kahit na nung pandemic na nagbawas ang mga foreign employers, pinauwi yung mga tao nila. nakadagdag yun sa ating economy.
Oo.
Tuloy na remittances.
Oo. Isang social cost, of course, yung nakahiwalay, yung mga pamilya, hindi natututukan, lalo na yung nanang ina, yung mga anak sa pag-aaral. Yun ang isang social cost. Ang sinasabi nga sa amin ng mga educators, kinikwentuhan kami, lalo na yung I'm so sorry, I forgot the first name, Fabelia, ang apelido niya. President siya ng Jose Rizal University.
Oh, okay.
Oo. Yung tatay na, genius yun, na minister ng panahon ni President Marcos, minister ng government reorganization. Anyway, sinasabi niya noon, alam mo, ito ang irony sa buhay ng mga OFWs. Kayod sila ng kayod abroad kasi ang gusto nila, mapag-aral ng mabuti ang mga anak. Ng pinaka mahusay na edukasyon makukuha nila, ma-afford nila para sa mga bata. Pero anong nangyayari? Sa kolehiyo, he found out, sinurvey nila sa among public colleges and universities. Private colleges and universities, may association sila. 2 out of 5, noon 2 out of 5, hindi ko alam kung ganun pa rin yung figures ngayon, ng mga estudyante sa kolehiyo na OFW parents ay umabagsak. Kasi nga hindi na
walang gabay.
Oo, kulang sa yung halimbawa nagiging palaboy, gano'n.
Tsaka mayaman kasi may allowance.
Hindi, not necessarily. Nalululong sa droga, walang hindi not necessarily mayaman, kaya nga napilitan mag-abroad.
Hindi, yung with the allowances sent over by
maaaring gano'n, oo. Kaya may mga NGOs na umasikaso niyan naman sa kanila, tulad ng NGO nila Mapet Senizal Gonzales. Tutok naman sila sa mga single parent na naiiwan dito, whether the husband or the wife, para maano sila, magkabayan din naman yung mga magulang kung paano gagabayan yung mga anak habang nasa isang magulang, one of the parents ay nasa abroad nagtatrabaho, or both parents nasa abroad, magkahiwalay pa usually yan, diba? Hindi, not necessarily magkasama, diba? Yun ang masaklap Yeah. So, hindi pa makontak si Secretary? Miss Marisa?
Hindi I wonder why. Okay na tayo. Sana
Kinakontak pa natin, si Secretary Susan Ople para magpapakwento tayo sa kanya, anong detalles itong paano yung mangyari. At saka, hindi lang basta resumption ito, there are new features to protect the rights, the welfare of our workers. May insurance na ngayon, may mga garantiya na mababayaran yung wages, including back wages, tapos yung pwede nang mag-resign kung nais nung with proper notice of course, kung nais na nung overseas worker umuwi o lumipat ng empleyo, mga gano'n, may mga bagong features itong kasunduan with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Kinakontak pa ba? Okay. In the meantime, Miss Marisa, ano nangyari?
Kinokontak pa rin si Secretary Susan.
Okay.
In the meantime, may maganda kang topic sa Sapol. Sapol mo sa Filipino Star ngayon. Pagkwentuhan nga natin yon.
Yung?
Actually, ang galing mo sa pagre-research at pagbabasa Yung tungkol sa pagkamagaling ka sa math, magaling ka raw sa music or vice versa?
Totoo ba yun?
Kasi, di ba ang sabi pa nga dati, naging, kumbaga, malaking chismis yan, na si Albert Einstein daw flunked his math.
That's not true.
Hindi pala totoo.
Hindi totoo yan. Oo. Ay, ano yan, brilyong estudyante yan sa Germany. Tapos, nag-PhD physics pa siya sa, hindi ka, kung mahina ka sa math, sa algebra, mga equations, kaya hindi ka pwede mag-physics. Kaya nag-PhD pa siya, doctorate in physics sa University of Zurich. Diba? At nagturo pa siya ng physics. Diba? Nuclear physics. Yan.
Wow, okay. Tapos, nung bata ka, sino ang piano teacher mo?
Lola ko.
Lola mo? Mas stricto ba ganon pag lola?
Ay, naku, may palo ng ruler sa pagka mali-mali.
Did that deter you? Kasi...
Hindi, sapilitan kami every afternoon eh. Pag nagbabakasyon kami dun sa lola ko, sa Pateros, naku. Buong araw, kami mga magpipinsan, magkakapatid na lalaki, sunod ang layaw. Kung lilikot siyempre, mga batang lalaki. Nasa kalye, nandun sa churchyard, gano'n, kung ano, may kung anong laro. Sunod ang layaw, pero kailangan alas 3 ng hapon, maliligo na, kaming mga bata, tapos magpa-piano lessons. Isa-isa yan, mga tigkakalating oras, ganyan, hanggang alas 6, tapos magro-rosaryo na. Every day.
Oo.
Yung kinikwento mo, no, na pagka mahusay ba sa math, mahusay din sa music, ewan ko. Basta nagpiano kami nung bata, tapos natuto ako mag-gitara, ukulele, gitara, ganun. Okay. Madali pag natuto ka marunong magpiano.
Okay.
Nang first year high school, may mga nakikinig na kaklasiko. First year high school, nilagay kami sa yung mga may advanced algebra. Siguro mga 2 dosena kami ron sa advanced algebra, kumbaga. Kasi may understanding na kami nun ng algebra. First year. Tapos, may first year and second year doon, nilagay kami sa advanced. Tapos, sabi nung teacher namin noon, si Mr. Aunario, sabi niya, kayo ba nagtumutugtog ng musical instruments? Karamihan sa amin, halos lahat kami, 2 dosena. Oo. Kung hindi member ng Rondalia, under Mr. Segundo na math teacher sa elementary. Miyembro din ng school band, yung marching band. So, kaya may mga combo-combo.
Totoo nga.
Ewan ko kung bakit yan.
Pero how did you fare sa math? Sige nga. Sa math.
Ay, pero yabang ha. Baka sabihin ng mga nakikinig sa atin, may yabang tayo eh.
Sige,
Hindi. Halos 100 parate. Sa algebra, geometry, trigonometry.
Wow, galing. Ako nga.
Pero yabang, grabe sa UP Diliman, minanigo yung math 11, math 14.
Wow. Kasi nung pag may exam ako nung high school na-ice train ako dahil pinapakita ng barkada ko yung sagot. Medyo malayo, kaya hindi ko mabasa.
Kaya lumabo ang mata mo. Doon ka lumabo ang mata.
Oo.
Yan. Ngayon, may mga nag-aaral nga dyan na pinag-aaral. Hindi makita yung ugnayan pero yun daw because music has cadence, may beat, tapos meron yung may measures, may fractions, may ratio, diba? Beats
per minute. Yung ba yun? Yung pagka lead ka, diba? Yung 3/4, 4/4.
Oo, gano'n. Tapos yun nga, may mga fractions of a note, yung mga gano'n, na-internalize mo yun And then, siguro, mas naiintindihan mo yun o nagpapalitan ng kaalaman kasi may 2 sides yung brain di ba? Yung sa creative side, saka yung mastery, yung memory side, yung gano'n, So, siguro nga, dahil communicate yung 2 sides of your brain, nagpapalitan ng information siguro, Kaya ganun nga, Kasi si Einstein nga raw, nung nagturo pa siya sa Princeton, sa New Jersey, noong 1940s, 1943, ganyan, Pagka meron siyang mga sinosolve na physics problem, mga equations, mathematical problems, tapos nai-stump siya, kasi kung minsan, haba-haba na, nakasulat sa blackboard, di ba? Haba-haba, Ilang linya na, buong blackboard.
Oo.
Tapos, ano siya, hindi naman kasi simple lahat na E equals MC square. Hindi ganun kasi. Although siya nag-formulate ng equation na yan about energy. At any rate, pagka na-stamp daw siya, ang gagawin niya, maupo lang muna, magbibiolin, o kaya magpapiano. At meron ng kapwa niyang professor sa New Jersey, sa Princeton. Sinasabi nga na pagka meron silang mga parties, kainan, ganyan-ganyan, talagang na-impress sila dahil magdadala ng violin si Albert Einstein. Tapos tutugtog siya, i-duet niya mga Mozart sonatas. Magduduet sila ng isang sikat na pianista na professor din sa Princeton. Galing, nakakatuwa. Si Isaac Asimov, ayan, kilalang fictionist, science fiction. Pero actually, biochemist siya, di ba?
Parang ang layo ng career path,
Biochemist. At saka ang layo, pero ang galing niya talaga. Sinukat niya na mayroon palang measures between notes ng isang octave yung sa Western music. Nasukat niya yung intervals na, kumbaga, may mathematical interval pala yun. So, ang sinasabi niya, denumero talaga ang music. Denumero. Kaya nga nagkakaroon talaga ng correlation siguro nga ang math and music. Pero hindi pa rin nakikita. Sinasabi lang, may mga pag-aaral na ang mga bata nga na tumutugtog ng instrumento ay matataas ang grade sa math sa school, sa high school, ganyan,
Pero mukhang pinatotohanan mo yan,
Hindi, in my case, but not in everybody's case. Pero yabang in my case, napatunayan yan. At sa mga barkada ko, yabang sa mga barkada ko kasi puro mga uutak Hindi ako sumasama sa mga yabang. Hindi nga. Pero according to experts, hindi mo makukuha talaga yung correlation unless pag-aralan mo yung buong buhay ng isang musician, mathematician. Kumbaga, kailangan pag-aaralan mo siya mula kinder hanggang siguro ay 80 na. Para makita mo talaga kasi hindi naman humihinto yung pag-aaral Yung tsaka yung pagtugtog, hindi naman humihinto. Kaya makikita mo ngayon, yan?
Pero
na-maintain pa niya yung prowess niya sa math kung nag-i-ensayo siya parati. Pag hindi siya nag-i-ensayo, pumupulpul ba sa math? Maaari. Diba? Hindi natin alam. Pero kailangan buong buhay.
Yun depende rin talaga sa estado ng buhay, Kasi may kakayahan yung magulang na ibili ng instrument.
Kuminsan,
pwede siyang bigyan ng piano or whatever musical lesson.
Although meron mga instrumento mura lang May flute na magsisimula ka doon sa bamboo flute lang na mabibili mo sa diba? Napasyal ka sa kung saan Baguio. Diba? Kakabili ka dun sa palengke ng bamboo flute na may nota na naman. Ganda naman, Yun. So, mura lang yun. Hindi naman kailangan. O kaya, ukulele or gitara lang na mura. Hindi naman kailangan piano
yung time na mag-practice.
Ayun, isa pa yun. Malaking bagay din yun. Siyempre, kailangan.
Tsaka yung dadaling ka ng ita-drive ka ng nanay mo, papunta ka sa violin lessons mo.
Yun, iba na yun. Mataas-taas na level na yan. Or basta yun, may parental guidance, guidance sa sino mang matanda. Like in our case, si Lola Rosita, ng Pateros. So yun. Pero isa lang napansin ko ay mga kaibigan, lalo na yung mga nakikinig sa atin lalaki, mga magulang, may mga anak na binata. Ito lang napansin ko kasi noon. Mas lapitin ka ng chicks para ka. Mas lapitin ka ng chicks. Yung mga cats na tumutugtog.
Cats and chicks.
Yun ang panahon namin, yun ang tawag. Natatawa siguro yung mga nakikinig sa atin. Naalala yung dekada 70, 80, nung 90.
Mga 45, 50 years ago yun.
Hindi naman.
Kung dekada 70. That's 50 years ago.
At ngayon, balikan natin ang programang Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc.
Babalik ang Sapol. Grabe ang issue talaga ng rising food prices, everybody, mula sa mga DTI officials natin, sinasabing, mag-stock up na kayo ng pang Noche Buena dahil we expect na
bumili ng maaga, ganun ba? Sinasabi na. Baka mag-hoard ang mga tao pag
At
gano'n.
kung may extra ka, di ba?
Hindi, pero baka mag-hoarding mga tao, lalo matataas ang presyo pag magkaka-shortage, di ba?
Hindi naman siguro ano bang Noche Buena features, fruit salad.
Ang usual, di ba? Fruit salad, spaghetti. Oo. Ay, nako.
Tapos, it is a fact. Like, nasa grocery ako the other day. Tapos nakalagay doon yung presyo ng lata ng mackerel na malaki.
Oo.
Tapos, tinignan ko siya, I just wanted to make sure. Dinala ko siya dun sa price scanner ng grocery. 2 pesos difference, 2 pesos 10 centavos. So,
Ano yung sabihin?
hindi either na-overtaken yung nagpapalit ng presyo.
Oo.
Yung manual na kinakabit-kabit na gano'n. So, tinanong ko yung isang staff. Sabi ko, ano ba ang tama dito na presyo? Ay, tama po yan, ma'am. Tama po yan. Sabi ko, kasi check ko lang nito. Can you please check this other brand kung tama?
Mas mura dun sa scanner.
Mas mahal. Ay, mas mahal sa scanner kaysa yung nakadikit na presyo.
Oo. So, ibig sabihin, pagka nandun ka na sa cashier,
Hindi mo na mapapansin yun, di ba?
ang lalabas doon, yung mas mahal.
Oo. Kasi kahit na, ang feeling mo na you made a good decision na, winay mo na, kung ano ba ang mas value for money.
Pagdating doon, mas mahal din pala.
Oo, pero hindi mo na mapapansin yun di ba? Hindi para ma-check mo or isulat mo isa-isa yung presyo ng bawat isang brand na pinili mo. Pero anyway, hindi lang, kasi alam natin yung farmers, yung bawang sa Batanes na hindi makarating sa Manila kasi nagdag sa
naalala ko tuloy yung
import.
Yung text last week. Ni environment, parang pumipiyok ako na. Environment lawyer, si Attorney Virgie Suarez, di ba? Sabi niya, bakit gano'n? Nabigla raw siya doon sa grocery. Namimili siya. Sabi niya,
Palaga ang anak ng tokwa.
Oo, galit. No? Bakit 400 pesos ang bawang na galing Ilocos? No? Tapos 150 o 140 ang bawang na galing sa China. Sabi niya, bakit nagiging gano'n ang presyo? Mas malaking, ang laki ng kaibahan. Mga 250 pesos ang kaibahan ng presyo ng domestic, ang lokal na bawang, tsaka ng gawan China. Di ba dapat, sabi niya, meron niyang taripa, meron niyang import duty, assuming hindi ito smuggled, ano? Meron din yung import duty. At itong import duty na ito, ang koleksyon na yan, ng gobyerno, bilyon yan bilyon. Di ba dapat yan ginagamit para tulungan ang mga magsasaka na ma-improve yung buhay nila at mapababa rin ang presyo, tulungan din yung consumers sa pamamagitan ng matinong distribution.
Tsaka yung mga facilities, either refrigerated or storage.
Oo. Ngayon, di ba, mayok na naman ano mangyayari? Di ba sabi ni Agriculture Senior Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban, ang mga magsasaka daw kasi, yan, yung sinabi niya may oversupply daw doon sa Itbayat, sa Babuyan Islands, Batanes, Batanes Province, pero itong Itbayat nandito sa may bandang kanan nito Malayo ito sa main island of Batanes kung saan ang Basco, the capital, Ang Itbayat Island, bahagi ito ng Babuyan Islands, nandito to sa north of Cagayan Province. Kung titingnan mo mapa ng Luzon, Northern Luzon, ang nasa east ay Cagayan. Tapos sa gitna, nandiyan yung Cordilleras, Tapos sa dulo lang nun, tapos nagdudugtong ng maliit na bahagi. Sa kaliwa naman, ang Ilocos.
Okay.
Sa west. Ang Ilocos, nandiyan katapat niya halos yung Batanes.
Katapat?
Proper. Sa north.
Okay.
Tapos katapat naman ng mas mababa ng konti sa east, yung Babuyan Islands. Doon nagkaroon ng oversupply daw ng 25 tons, As usual, yung bumper harvest nila, 60 tons, Sabi nga ni Governor. Tapos, 25 tons oversupply. Kasi nga, magsakang presyo ng bilihin, hindi may benta. Kasi nag-import, binahan ng import yung Cagayan ng murang bawang from China. Paano may sasalya naman doon tamang presyo yung sa'yo.
Oo.
Na 100, kung binaha ka ng mas mura pa sa 100,
Oo.
na bibilin sa farm gate, di ba?
Lugi
Kasi
ka
gano'n
naman.
Ang sabi naman ni Governor Batanes, ang ano raw 100 pesos Pero pagka naitawid mo na, magiging mga 150 yan. Tapos pagka dumating sa Maynila, mas mahal pa. Di ba? At any rate, ang sabi ni Undersecretary Domingo ay, kasi problema kasi mga magsasaka, tanim lang ng tanim, they plant without thinking of the market. Hindi pwedeng ipapaubayan pa yung mahirap na nga magtanim, sabi nga ni Attorney Virgie. Sisisihin mo pa pag hindi nila may dala sa merkado yung kanilang produkto, hindi nila kasalanan yan.
Tama.
I believe so. Hindi talaga nila kasalanan. Tsaka hindi ganun kasimple yung sinasabi.
Kaya nga nasa gobyerno ka di ba?
Yung itbayat, sana alam ito ni Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban. Yung itbayat, walang matinong port. No? Ang landingan lang yan, kumbaga. It's just a crude landing. Pwede na, kumbaga. Pero it's not really a seaport na moderno. Ito na biniyak lang mula doon sa bangin, doon sa cliff, sa gilid. Okay. Kaya mga barko, umaangkla yan, malayo. Doon. Kasi
batuhan na yan, ano?
Batuhan. Tsaka baka sumadsat, masisira yung barko mo.
Oo.
Ngayon, yung mga barko, kaya yan. Kayang-kaya ng barko, i-load yung 25 tons na yan. O miski 60 tons na yan. O miski sobra pa dyan. Kayang-kaya ng isang barko yan. Isa lang.
Kaya lang malayo ang parking, kumbaga.
At paano mo madadala ngayon doon? Tataya. Itong mga tataya, maliliit na bangka ito, kahoy. Wala itong katig kasi sa lakas ng alon, papalo yung bangka mo doon sa batuhan, sa bangin, gano'n, doon sa gilid nga ng landing, kung tawagin. Mababali lang yung katig, yung outrigger. Kaya ito, mga 4 meters, yung ba 5 meters long, kasing haba lang ng isang van, yung 4-wheel van dito sa, kumbaga sa land, land vehicle. Yan, mga 4 na metro. Ngayon, may motor naman. Pero ang kaya lang ikarga nito, maximum 2 tons. 2 tons ngayon bawat isa. So, yung 25 tons, ilang biyahe yun? Kunting to 2 tons. 50 biyahe. Sorry. Baliktad. 25 tons divided by 2.
12.5.
12.5 na bangka.
Oo.
Or 12.5 na.
Sabi ni Batanes Governor Marilu Caico, meron pa silang 25 tons of 60.
Out of 60. Yun nga. Ngayon, yun. So, may babiyahe mo ngayon yan. Itatataya mo, sasakay mo sa tataya, papunta from the island to the ship. Pipick upin mo ron, mag-aabutan kayo ron. Hindi ubra miski may crane yung
layo.
yung barko. Mano-mano yan, sasakay. Sabi ni Undersecretary Panganiban, dapat yan ibiyahe sa Ilocos. Sir, ang layo po nun. Wala pong tatawid ganito this time of the year. Wala pong hindi kaya ng tataya.
Malapit lang yun sa mapa
1 inch lang, Sir, wala pong tatawid sa channel ng ganyan. Delikado po, napakalakas ng alon ngayon. At miski summer, hindi po kaya ng tataya yan. At best, yung mga ferry naman, wala pagka malikot ang tulad ngayon, meron may di ba may bagyong gigilid na naman sa Batanes like last week, ngayon this weekend, kagabi, diba, kahapon
gigilid lang talaga.
Pero yung last week pumasok ng PAR, yung Philippine Areas of Responsibility. Anyway, ngayon, at best, ang gagawin dapat, yung mga tataya, dadalhin yung 25 tons na yon or 60 tons, yun ang harvest ibabiyahe mo, sasakay mo sa tataya 3 hanggang 4 na oras hanggang doon sa main island. Dadali mo sa Basco, nandun yung magandang port. And from there, dadali na sa Ilocos on the west side. And from Ilocos, ibabiyahe mo na ngayon. Sa hirap nun, lumalaki ang gastos mo. Mahal ang gasolina, mahal ang fuel ngayon. Yun nga yung sinasabi ka, last Saturday din ni
John Santos, ano? Yung
presidente siya ng Association of Fresh
Fish Traders.
Parang ano yan?
Parang tongue twister.
Parang tongue twister. Association of Fresh Fish Traders. So. Okay.
Yung pala lahat wini-weigh nila, no? Teka, ito ang investment ko sa gasolina.
Oo, kalahati raw ang fuel cost. Whether malaking barko ka na malaking vessel na pangisda o kaya maliit na bangka, kalahati ng cost mo, doon na pupunta sa fuel. Kaya, konting kutob mo lang na, ay, bilog ang buwan. Mahina, lumalalim ang isda pag bilog ang buwan, hirap mahuli. Kaya, kumpara kung madilim.
Ayaw nila ma-moonburn.
Hindi, yung pagkain nila lumalalim. Ayaw sa liwanag ng pagkain, kaya hinahabol ng isda palalim.
Okay.
Ngayon, o kaya malakas ang alon. O kaya malayo. Yung distansya para habulin mo yung, halimbawa, yung tamban nga,
ginagawan sardinas.
Oo, yung ginawa niyang ehemplo. Hindi na ba biyahe?
Kasi,
pag bumiyahe ka,
diba? Nandyan ang isda, kaya lang, ayun, maraming
kung bumiyahe ka, tataasan mo ang presyo kasi mahal ang fuel. Pag hindi ka bumiyahe, mahal pa rin yung isda. Kasi kukonti. Di ba? Ganun eh. Pag may huli, mahal dahil sa fuel. Pag hindi nang huli ang malalaki o maliliit na operators, di ba? Or maliliit na mangingisda, mahal din ang isda dahil kapos. That's a problem. Di ba? Pero hindi naman kailangan parati isasagot, import tayo. Hindi. Tulungan natin, di ba? Like in the case of, ito, yung sinasabi natin, yung sa bawang. Kailangan nila obviously ng tulong para mai-transport, di ba? Maikabit sila sa merkado para hindi yung pasa-pasa yung ganyan. Alam mo, ang daming issues dyan, Miss Marisa, ha? Halimbawa, yung nadala mo na nga yung yung bawang o kahit anuman.
Okay.
From wherever, kahit anong produce.
Pagdating
dadalhin mo sa port.
By boat, okay. Or by ship.
Doon sa port, madami kang gastos dyan eh. Una, may stevedoring costs, no? May nakakontrata yan. Hinahati sa port ang uri ng trabahador. Stevedore lang ang pwedeng sumampa sa barko na papayagan ng crew ng barko na mag-load or unload ng kargamento. No? Stevedore lang yung kontratista doon sa port na yon. Ngayon, and then yung arastre, yung kontratistang arastre, sila naman ang pwedeng mag-load at unload ng cargo sa mga sasakyang panglupa. Tapos para dadamputin naman ng stevedore, isasakay dun sa labor cost yan.
Oo.
Ito, mga required sa port modernization, dapat may facilities sila. May mga cranes, may mga ganyan. Pero wala. Hindi sila ginagawa. Dapat kinocompel sila ng Philippine Ports Authority. Pero hindi nagagawa eh. Ang nangyayari tuloy, yung mga barko ngayon, napipilitan na sila mag-install ng crane. Kasi yung mga barko natin, karamihan binibili sa Japan, whether second-hand or brand new.
Okay.
Walang crane ang mga barko sa Japan or sa Korea.
Kumbaga hindi standard na feature.
Hindi, kasi moderno mga ports nila ron. May crane na sarili. Susuot ka sa gitna, tapos may dadampot na
ng mga container van.
Kaliwat kanan, ganyan, may dadampot na ng crane sa kuya. Dito kasi sa atin, yung mga kontrata doon sa labor, sa pier, kaya nahahati pa yan. Monopoly yan, karamihan ng local officials eh. Kaya pag nanalo yung bagong governor, bagong mayor doon sa yung port doon, mga tauhan niya, ipapasok niya. Tanggal lahat ng mga datihan kung dating yun. Iba ang nagpapatakbo.
Okay. Tapos?
Ngayon, so nadadagdagan ng gastos. Yung crane, magkano yan? Kung mahaba yung barko mo, dalawa ang kakabit mo. Ikaw may-ari ng barko. Isa sa harap, isa sa likod, isa sa bow, isa sa stern, Magkano isa? 5 million. Lagay mo na cost of the crane itself and the installation. So kung 10 million yan, mo ngayon yan, ipapasa mo ngayon yan doon sa shipper, doon sa kumukontrata sa'yo.
At least, i-devalue mo, di ba? Parang,
ipapasa mo yan. Okay? So, yan ang mga nagpapadagdag sa cost ng transporting sa pier, ano? Meron pa. Sa pier, iba-ibang, ang daming, kung ikaw ang ship owner, ang dami mong nakalista. O kaya ikaw ang shipper, ang daming listang mga kailangan mong bayaran. May wharfage, may pilotage. Ito muna, wharfage, pilotage. Sagot ito ng ship owner. Wharfage. Yan yung parking fee, kumbaga. Kumbaga sa parking dito sa lupa. No? Papasok ka dun sa wharf, ipaparada mo yung barko mo ron, may parking fee. Sisingilin ka nung private port operator o nung government, yung port authority. May bayad yan. Tapos, pilotage. Bayad ka rin. Pagpapasok ka sa isang harbor, yung barko mo, yung kapitan niyan, yung shipmaster, pagpasok mo sa harbor, kailangan i-turn over mo yung barko doon sa kontratista ron na pilot, harbor pilot o harbor master. Yung shipmaster turns over to the harbor master.
Okay, kasi siya yung nakakaalam nung
dapat
bawat inch nung
bawat
tubig
square
doon.
inch doon lugar na yon. Alam dapat niya kung saan merong may batuhan doon o merong mababaw na portion o merong lumubog na barko na makatamaan, gano'n, ano? Siya ang magpaparada. Magpaparada.
May napanood na ako
may
sa
bayad
TV
yan,
ganyan eh. Oo.
3,000 to 5,000 yan. Depende sa, may taripang gano'n, depende sa tonnage ng barko. Yung cargo, yung laki niya, yung kaya niyang ikarga.
Okay.
Oo. Pag hindi ka nag-avail ng pilot, mumultahan ka ng Ports Authority, 5,000. Sa buong Batangas, eto nakakapagtaka. Ang pilotage fee doon, 24,700. Kaya pag doon ka na kumuha ng food, tapos de-deliver mo sa iba.
Southern Tagalog, di ba? Doon ang kanilang bagsakan.
Or, from kung saan manggaling, doon mo ibababa, patong ng 24,700 sa Batangas. Papasa yun, siyempre.
Oo.
No?
Alam mo naman malugi yung negosyante.
Okay. Kung ikaw naman yung shipper or ikaw yung kumontrata ng barko, no? Ang mangyayari naman ay kung ikaw yung shipper, meron kang babayaran din na storage doon sa pier. Kasi you're given only limited time na pagdating ng kargamento mo, kailangan alisin mo na sa pier. Kung hindi, magko-congestion doon eh. Diba? Ngayon, kung natagalan doon, i-store mo ron. Storage fee. Diba? May bayad yun.
Naman yun.
Oo. Panibagong yun. Tapos meron pang demurrage. So, wharfage, puro
pilotage.
Ang pare mo, pilotage, storage, puro AGE ang apelido nito. Saka demurrage. Ito naman, pagka hindi mo na-deliver on time, ikaw nag-charter ng barko, o kaya, hindi mo na-discarga on time, pumultahan ka naman nung may-ari ng barko.
Siyempre, kasi parang sa iba ko muna ipaparent yan,
demurahe. Yan, demurahe.
Ganun pala yun.
Oo. Di ba recently, sabi nga nung yung mga asukal, nire-raid, di ba? Tapos sinaganon.
Sa pier.
Oo, meron sa pier. Sinasabi, 2 beses na yan eh. Smuggle daw itong asukal na to. Tapos, hold ng customs. Tapos lalabas, hindi pala smuggled. Ayos naman pala yung papeles. Pero 15 days na hold.
Magkano ang storage fee nun?
Tsaka yung demurrage. Demurrage pa lang. Hindi ko,
isa pa yun, ano?
Yung demurahe, kadalasan yan, 200,000 pesos a day.
What?
A day. Nakakakilabot ka. Kasi yung barko yun cost ng operating the ship So 200,000 pesos a day. So kung 15 days, magkano yun? Papatong ngayon yun doon sa cost ng asukal na pinasok.
Oo.
Di ba?
Oo.
Yan ang ano, kaya hindi dapat nagkakaroon ng port congestion. Pero kung minsan nagkakaroon ng port congestion kasi, well, madalas. Tulad ngayon, may 3,500 cargo containers dyan sa Manila ngayon.
Mhm.
Bakit nagkakaroon ng ganyang port congestion? Ang daming factors.
Mhm.
Isa, yung mabagal na inspeksyon.
Dapat naka-template na yun, di ba?
Oo, pero alam mo, di ba, sinasabi, dapat nga, ano yan, computerized na nga yan.
Oo.
No, hindi na kailangan mga ganyan-ganyan, ano, pero...
Ibig sabihin, naghihintay ng padulas.
Oo, magkano ang padulas? 10,000 ngayon.
10,000? Bawat
Kada lata kung tawagin.
container?
Oo, kada lata. Kasi metal yung cargo container, di ba? Ang slang nila, no, lata, kala mo napakaliit. Pero 20 or 40 footer yan, ano? Ang haba niyan, ano? Ang laki ng laman yan, malaking size yan. Yun yung nakatakot pag nakita mo sa kalye na nagra-rumble, dumadagundog pa, baka maliit yung kotse mo, baka masagasaan ka.
Oo.
Yan.
Tapos may nabalitaan.
10,000 para lang,
Meron
ano yun,
pa raw,
padulas.
may deposit pa raw yung empty
O
container
yung
shell?
cargo container mismo,
Oh,
ayan
ano
naman,
ba
ano,
yun?
bayad yan ng shipping line.
Shipping
No?
line. Okay.
25,000 ang bayad dyan. Tsaka yun, deposit.
Para saan?
Deposit. Para pag mawala mo, kumbaga, yung
Kala mo naman mawawala mo yung 25,000.
hindi, pag hindi mo sinuli. Pag hindi mo sinuli, yun ang bayad mo.
Parang ang hirap pa namang itago yun.
Parang deposito yan sa bote ng soda, no? Ganon. Kailangan isosoli mo pagka re-replenish mo, 'di ba? Mapupuno uli 'yung pagbili mo, may lalaman na naman 'yung binili mo, 'di ba? Na inumin. Ganon din 'yun. May deposito. Ito 25,000. Siyempre nakapatong lahat yan doon. Oh, may GIS-mill, may GIS-mill na padulas, may 25,000 na legal na. Mga ganun eh. Lahat yan, patong-patong yan. Tapos may pilotage nga eh, nabanggit natin na mas mahal sa ibang probinsya kaysa sa 3,000 to 5,000 lang sa karamihan, pero sa may mga special na probinsya na mas mahal. Mga ganun, patong-patong yan. Tapos, may mga documentary requirements pa.
Okay, tama lang.
Natural, pero ito, patong-patong din yan. Bukod yun sa customs documentation requirements, meron din siyempre yung Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources kung nag-import ka ng isda. Bureau of Animal Industry pag nag-import ka ng pork or poultry or beef, Tapos Bureau of Plant Industry pa. Bureau of Plant Industry pag nag-import ka ng mga gulay, mga ganon, yung mga tanim, mga ganon, yung mga hina-harvest. May food and drugs pa, yung mga condiments. Yan, sa, dadaan yun sa Bureau, Food and Drug Authority, Yung mga condiments, yung mga pamintay, mga ganyan, nakatlata, mga kabote, mga ganyan, O kung ano man, yung mantika, mga ganyan, Yung mga finished goods. Tapos may DTI. Tapos kung free port pa yan, or Export Zone Authority, may mga documentation requirements din yan. Patong-patong, Ngayon, kailangan ihanda mo. Ito mabigat. Ang customs, nung panahon ng pandemya, so bumagsak yung koleksyon ng customs. Walang kalakal eh. Walang di ba? Walang
bumabiyaheng mga bangko.
So, anong nangyari? Nako, para kumita, sinabi lang, mula ngayon, may multa lahat ng may typographical error sa document. Kada isang misspelling at isang typo error, kada isa, 5,000 piso ang multa.
Hindi naman
higpit ni teacher. Higpit ni teacher. Kung minsan, hindi mo naman kasalanan ito yung sinabi ni shipper o yung source, Ito spelling niya. Halimbawa, ito yung ginawa niyang spelling. Yung cooking oil niya, naging cooking oil. Halimbawa, isa lang. C-O-K lang.
Malay mo kung brand yun, so ilalagay mo yun.
Oo. Sa'yo, imumultahan ka noon. Sasabihin, mali kang spelling dito eh.
Nakakalito pa
malay mo kinopya ko lang yan eh. Hindi pwedeng baguhin mo naman kung ano. Pag hindi nagtugma yung dokumento mo, masisilip naman yun sa computer mo or sa di ba?
Basic pati yun, yung capital O, capital letter O, at saka zero. Hindi naman lahat may slash na pa-diagonal na gano'n yung zero. Diba? Ang
So yun ang problema eh. So ang dami na ipapatong-patong na cost na ganyan.
Tapos, paglabas mo ng pier, finally, nakaganon ka na, pawis, natanggal na yung pawis.
Oo. Ito, babiyahe mo na. Kaya yung nag-ani ka ng tilapia o bangus. Binigay mo na doon sa biyahero. O kaya nag-ani kayo doon ng prutas o gulay sa kung saan man, sa Benguet o sa bibigay mo sa biyahero. Oh, may checkpoint.
May checkpoint. No ID, no entry.
May checkpoint sa dadaanan. No? Alam mo ginagawa ng mga biyahero?
Oo.
Doon sa checkpoint?
Oo.
Niitsahan na lang nila ng cash. Alam na kung magkano eh. Itsa na lang nila yung halaga.
Alam na nila.
Alam. O, yan na. Huwag ka lang mabala kasi baka mapanis yung perishable item mo eh.
Oo.
Lahat yan, nakapatong yan. Kaya, Attorney Virgie, 400 pesos ang bawang na galing Ilocos. Yung galing China, 138. Ganyan, 150. Yan ang dahilan. Okay.
Buhay. Ang saklap. Okay.
At ngayon, balikan natin ang programang Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc.
Nagbabalik ang Sapol. It's 9:10. Yung mga gustong sumali sa ating usapan, hinihintay namin ang mga text nyo.
Baka mga text natin sabihin, yabang naman ni Jarius. Mahusay daw siya sa math, mahusay daw sa music. Sige nga.
Sige nga, kanta ka nga. Eto, minus
baka
1.
baka i-text nila, ganun. Kasi sinasabi niya, ang dami niyang chicks noon dahil tumutugtog siya. Sige nga. Huwag naman.
Ay, mahabang kwentuhan yan. Kailangan may San Miguel beer.
Pero talaga, di ba may mga barkada pa tayo noon, ako noon, lalo na, may mga barkada ako, mga folk singer, yun, ang daming chicks to mga yun. Nakikinig nga yung isa ngayon eh. Rafael!
Aminin.
Ha?
Aminin.
Manix?
Yan,
yung mga barkada ko noon sa UP Diliman na estudyante pa lang pero naghahanap buhay na eh. Folk singer.
Si Butch, si Paul, ba?
Si Paul Galang. Ayan,
Pa-isa-isa, pa first name lang, pero mga sikat,
Oo.
Si Annie Montano.
Yan.
Si Raf Aguila.
Yan. Manix Pablo.
Butch Hernandez. Puro mga 70s na sa
Si Small Demetilio.
Oo.
Tsaka yung dalawang kapatid ni Heber, Bartolome.
Si Jessie. Yung
si Levy.
Jessie and Levy.
Yan. Yung mga
usong-uso
kagrupo eh.
Folk bars dati,
Tsaka natutuwa ako sa kanila pagka mandiligaw sila doon sa Kalayaan.
Kalayaan Residence Hall. Yung first co-ed dorm sa UP in the 1975.
Pero pang freshman lang yata yun, yung Kalayaan, hindi ko naalala ka.
Pero nag-evolve na rin ang mga dorm sa UP eh.
Tapos
naging co-ed na.
Nanliligaw sila ron, grupo-grupo sila, mga 3, 4, 5 gitarista. Kumagano sila, magharana doon. Galing eh.
Galing ah.
Nagkakaroon na ng jamming doon sa steps ng dormitorio. Babaan lahat ng babae. Pati mga lalaki co-educational. Yun eh, isang wing pang lalaki, isang wing pang babae. Nagsasalubong lang sa gitna doon sa kantin.
Saka sa multipurpose hall at saka sa living room, manonood ng TV. Okay. Okay. Ngayon ay
pag-usapan natin ngayon, itong sinasabi, ang kapos parati tayo to 3 million tons of rice.
We need to import
3 million tons of rice a year. At sinasabi, we will never be able to improve our rice production kasi sa malaking populasyon. Alam mo, hindi dapat tayo...
And a lot of lands are being converted, di ba? Subdivision.
But we should not be defeatist, Kasi yung mga sinasabi natin, subukan natin, improvein. Pwede. In fact, nagagawa na eh. It is now being done. Improving our rice output. Ako na mismo magsasabi, natikman ko na ito eh. Have you tasted, kayo mga kaibigan? Renucci rice. Renucci rice. Have you tried it? Have you tasted it? This is made in the Philippines. Although ang pangalan na Renucci is French-Italian. Magkakwentuhan tayo mamaya. Maya lang. Ito, mga kaibigan, noong 2019,
nag-inaugurate ng rice processing facility.
Pero, na award as the
Third best
rice in the world. In
Wow.
the world.
You know, we should claim that. Kasi we should start claiming that nung may IRI tayo, International Rice Research Institute.
Magpakwento tayo doon sa nagsimula nito. No? At ipinangalan sa kanya ito. Mag-asawa sila actually, pero makakwentuhan natin ngayon ay si Mr.
Patrick Renucci. And mga kaibigan, you have to bring out your dictionaries.
Okay.
We will conduct this in English. Good morning.
French-Italian siya, no?
Yeah.
Bonjour, Monsieur Patrick.
Bonjour. Hello, Jarius. Hello, Marisa.
Okay.
Hi, good morning, Patrick.
Okay. Parlez-vous waray-waray?
No, unfortunately, I only speak English. And you know, English is not my mother language. But yes, it's challenging for me to speak English. But unfortunately, everybody, and that's the beauty of the Philippines, everybody speaks English here in the Philippines.
Yes.
So I was not able to learn neither Waray or Tagalog.
Okay. Now, tell us about your operation. Why did you come over to the Philippines? And why are you now based in Alang-Alang, Leyte, which means dedicated to you?
Yes. So we came here in the Philippines because of the Typhoon Yolanda. So we used to live in Paris, my wife and I, and my wife used to be a banker. She was running her own real estate fund in between London, Hong Kong, and Paris, and I was running one of the major printing companies in Europe. Oh, yeah. And then when Typhoon Yolanda happened, we saw the image because the image went all around the world, and we were so shocked by the image. So we decided, my wife and I, that it was time for us to change the way we were living and to change the way we were earning money. And we decided to go here in Leyte to do sustainable business, to help the people, the people from Leyte to recover from the Yolanda typhoon.
Your wife, Rachel Tan, is she from Leyte?
No. We in fact we are not related to Leyte at all. We don't know. When we came here, we don't know anyone in Leyte.
And she was busy. You were busy running your own printing company, one of the biggest in Europe, and she was busy with her
fund management.
She was handling finances for $1 billion real estate investment company based in Hong Kong. Is it?
Yes, that's right.
With clients all over Southeast Asia and China, and then you decided
you gave it all up.
You gave it all up,
and then yes, we gave it all up because. You know, when you start aging at one point, you know, when you are young, what matters is to be able to make money, to buy a nice car, to have a nice house. But when you are growing and you're getting a little bit older, what matters is what are you going to give back?
Yes.
How you're going to help? What are you going to do with your life? And that's Yolanda was really game-changing for us because that's when we were able to understand that we have to do something.
But this was in 2013, so you decided to go into rice production right away?
Why rice?
Yeah, in fact, we didn't decide about rice. But when we came to visit here the province of Leyte, and when we went around, we saw so many rice fields. So we decided, okay, if we want to help the largest number of people, we have to do something about rice. That's how we decided to go into rice. But when we came here, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know it was going to be what kind of business, what kind of sustainable business we were going to do. But when we went around Leyte...
But as a European, as a Frenchman, you were familiar with rice already. You call it riz, if I'm not mistaken? Or risotto?
No. Yes, of course we know risotto because Italian people, they eat a lot of risotto. But we didn't know anything about rice. When we came here, we don't know. We don't know rice. We don't know how to grow rice. The first time I went in the rice field, it was in the Philippines.
But you now, yeah, but you now produce the third best rice in the world. how did that happen in how many years? So when did you start going into rice, and why did you decide? And it's one of the most difficult crops to produce.
Yes, it's very challenging. Yes, but when we first arrived, because we don't know about we don't know much about rice, so we went around Southeast Asia. We went to Taiwan to visit some rice fields, some milling facility. We went to Japan. We went to China to really try to understand, and we went also to Iri in the Philippines, trying to understand. We went to field rice, and that's how we start learning about rice.
Okay.
And we were not afraid, because, when we talk about agri, all around the world, people are doing agri. So we were coming from banking or industry, which is much more complex. So we were not afraid to go into rice. So we start learning how to grow rice. And now, after a few years, we can say that we are really experts into rice and palay.
But how did you transform that? The rice production in Leyte, how was it when you first researched it?
Yes. When we arrived in Leyte, so we start to try to understand what was the problem of the farmers. And it was quite challenging, because we are coming from Europe, and we don't really understand how we can help. So we made a survey on the 4,000 farmers surrounding Alang-Alang to really understand how we could help. So in this survey, there was 150 questions to understand how are the farmers living, are they married, do they have kids, what is the level of education of the kids, how much money do they earn every month. So to be able to really understand how we could help. And out of this survey, we understood that there was 3 major problems for the farmer here in the Philippines. The first one, it's they live into debt. The farmer in the Philippines, they always borrow money to the middleman, and they borrow money at a huge amount of interest. So at the end, they don't earn money because they have to pay back.
Yeah.
With a huge amount of interest. The second big problem, and I know it seems to be crazy, but the farmers, they don't know where to find the seeds. So they don't know where to find the seeds to plant. So when we arrive here, people, they were just planting whatever they could find. They find some palay, then they plant the palay, but they don't understand that the seeds, there is the F1, F2, F3, so they need to, in fact, they didn't understand that they have to buy certified seeds to be able to plant and to have a nice
I thought
produce.
they just kept some from the past production, and then they use that for the next.
Yes, but that's a mistake, in fact. That's what they used to do, but that's a mistake. Because when you go into the next generation of seeds, they won't be able to produce enough. So they always have to buy certified seeds from field rice or from seed grower. And that's what they were not doing. So that's one of the major problems also. And the third one, the third big problem, and that's also the beauty of the Philippines. There is no more laborers, because all the young people, they don't want to go into farming, because they believe that farming is considered as the lowest of the social class in the Philippines. So the young people, they rather go to big cities to work in call centers, in the office, rather than try to go into farming. So that was a big problem. So no more laborers to be able to do planting and harvesting. So for this, we introduced massively mechanization in Leyte. So we were the first one to introduce the combine harvesters, the tractors. So that survey really helped us to really understand and to try to know how we could help.
Patrick, these 4,000 farmers that you surveyed, are they all small farmers, like less than a hectare?
Or less than 2 hectares?
Yeah. See, here in the Philippines, the average size of a farm, it's around 1 hectare. So most of the farmers that we surveyed and most of the farmers in the Philippines, they are farming in 1 hectare farm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite small.
Okay.
And
so Patrick, sorry. Please go on.
Sorry. Yes. One of the big problem, because the more we get into rice, the more we try to understand why here in the Philippines, the more we understand that the problem is very complex. It's not only about the farmers, but it's also about the agrarian reform law. It's very complex. It's about the middlemen.
Okay.
So,
what solution did you find for that first problem, which is farmers being in debt always?
Okay, so what we did after our survey is we said, okay, let's do a program. We did a program, and this was before our CEF. We did a program where we were able to provide the seeds, certified seeds, to the farmer at zero interest loan, and to provide all the inputs like fertilizer, chemicals, and technical assistance to the farmer at a very, very, very low interest, like 2%. So the farmer, when they work and when they do harvest, all the money from the crops will go to them, which today, in fact, is not working like this. All the money goes to the middlemen. Because the farmers, they don't understand, and they are not well educated, so they don't understand mathematics. And when they borrow, for example, 1,000 pesos, they have to give back three sacks of palay. When they borrow 2,000 pesos, they have to give back five sacks of palay. But at the end, we know that the cost to farm in the Philippines, it's around 20 to 30,000. That's how much they spend. 20,000 to 30,000 pesos to be able to farm properly your rice field. But at the end,
and that's for how big a rice field is that? For 1 hectare?
1 hectare. Good for 1 hectare.
So what is the
good for
cost of production, Patrick, of a kilo, say a kilo of palay?
Yes. So when we buy palay, we buy the palay at 16.50 per kilo.
16.50. And the farmer already has a
little profit.
A profit from that.
Yes. The cost of production in the Philippines is 12 peso.
12. Okay.
12 peso. That's the cost of production.
In Vietnam and Thailand, it is much lower.
In Thailand and Vietnam, it's around 9 and below 9 peso per kilo.
Yes. They have they have better yield.
But it's better yield, and also maybe the farms are quite bigger and they are more organized.
Okay, that's true.
That's one of the problems. And that's what I was telling you. When we start to understand and try to understand and to solve the problem of the rice crisis in the Philippines, we understand it's very complex. It's not only about the farmers. It's about the law, the size of the farms. And one of the big problems is most of the time the farmer is not the landowner.
Yes.
The farmer here in the Philippines is not a tenant. Most of the time, the farmer is a caretaker. And a caretaker can be removed anytime. So, because most of the time the farmer is a caretaker, he doesn't want to improve his farm. Because he knows that it can be removed. And no incentive. So that's one of the problem of the rice crisis. Okay. You know, even though the government is really trying to help, and there is a big help from the government. Now we can see there is free seeds for all the farmers in the Philippines through the RCEF program. There is a huge implementation of mechanization all over the Philippines. So the water for irrigation is free. So there is a huge help. But what we see, no improvement. So we have to go beyond those help and mechanization. We have to understand what is the real problem.
So when you first went to Leyte, the farms were not mechanized, was it? Or
No, not at all.
And how about irrigation?
And storage too.
Yes, no storage. People, unfortunately, they dry the palay on the road, and then they store it in their house or in small bodega. But when it's not dried properly, because you need to dry the palay at 14% moisture content. When the palay comes from the field, it's at 25 percentage of moisture in the paddy. But when you do solar drying, you only dry skin. Inside the rice, it's always the moisture content is always quite high. So after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when you smell the palay, it doesn't smell good anymore.
Yes, it begins to rot.
Most of the time, yes, they have to dry it twice or 3 times. That's not the proper way to do it.
Oh,
Here,
and we even use a seemingly sophisticated term for it. What you said, which is drying on the barangay road. We call it solar dryer, as if it's so high tech. But no, you just rake it over the hot pavement.
Yes. That's the way they do it. But here that's when we came here. So we build the facility here with a mechanical dryer. So we have 10 mechanical dryers that can dry 300 tons of palay in one batch, and we can do 2 batches per day in 24 hours. So, and it's all Japanese technology. So when we dry, it's all electronic control, and we can bring the moisture content and at 14%. And then when we store it in silos to be able to store it properly, the palay. And in our silo, we have also a big air con for silo to keep the palay at 21 degrees. Why 21 degrees?
Yes.
Because at 21 degrees, no pest, no bugs, and no book can develop because they don't survive at 21 degrees. So our palay, yes, and we do the moisture control in the silo to be able to be sure that our palay is always at 14% moisture content.
Can I go back a bit, Patrick, to harvesting and threshing?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
So
do you also help in providing or lending mechanized harvesters?
Yes. When we arrived, before we introduced mechanization. So when we introduced, that's a few years ago already, when we introduced the combine harvester, people were so afraid of the combine harvester because the farmers were not able to understand. You have the palay that goes into the machine, and they don't see the palay; it goes directly into a bag. So at the beginning, they were very afraid of this machine. They were calling this machine the beast. The beast.
Huh?
The beast. And then one time, the weather in Leyte, there is typhoon, a lot of rain, and typhoon was coming. And the farmers, they were a little bit desperate, and they came to see us and they say, okay, I need to harvest now. And we were able to accommodate so many farmers, because, when you use the combine harvester, it's 2 hours or 3 hours to harvest 1 hectare. So we had 10 combine harvesters, and we were able to facilitate or to accommodate plenty of farmers, and that's how they understood the benefit of mechanization.
The
And
benefit of the beast, huh?
They just rent.
Yes.
They just rent by the hour or by the hectare.
Yeah.
Marisa,
Patrick?
can you repeat,
Yeah.
please?
Do you rent out the harvesters?
Combine.
Combine
Yeah.
harvesters?
Yeah.
At
Yes, what
per
we do-
hour, by the hour, or by the hectare?
No, we don't do per hour because it's too tricky. Because the farmer then they don't know if we are going to harvest for 2 hours or 5 hours. So it's tricky. What we do, we take a percentage. For example, the farmer will harvest 100 cabans. We will take 8%. 8%. That means 8 bags will come to Cheney to be able to pay for the diesel, the operators,
That's true.
and
Yes.
the machines.
And you had to train operators of these combines.
Yeah. That was Jarius another challenge because when we arrive here in Leyte, people they barely know how to drive a motorcycle, but then we have to teach them how to operate the combine harvesters or the tractors, and that was a big challenge. That was a big
Good, you were
challenge.
able to find the operators courageous enough to learn.
That's right.
Yes. But to tell you the truth, some of our combine harvesters were destroyed in the coconut trees because at the beginning they were not really able to operate. So it took quite some time.
Then they were
the
they were
operators.
bumping the coconut trees, and the
Crash
trees were
into coconut
falling.
trees as brakes.
Okay, Patrick, may I ask? From how many days from harvest are you able to finish from harvest of palay to drying and
to packing?
and milling and selling? How many days does it take?
No, we can do it in 24 hours. Once we collect the palay from the field, we will dry. The process of drying in the mechanical dryer will take 12 to 15 hours maximum.
Only?
Yes. And after once it's dry, you store it in the silo and you can mill right away.
Okay,
So
is
it's
that
quite
the secret of the taste? Because it's they say it's always rice becomes more delicious if it's freshly harvested.
Yes.
Yes, that's absolutely true. That's why we use silo. When we use the silo and we keep the palay at 21 degrees and we have the moisture content control at 14%, so we can play with the moisture content in the silo, you can keep the palay into the silo for example, 12 months, but when you mill, you always feel like it's freshly harvested because the storage is very important.
Such innovation,
Yes.
no?
Okay. So,
Yes.
in other words, you introduce science into this, all the way to those little details like certified seeds and
Fertilizers.
and lowering the cost and how many
The
degrees
moisture
you need compared to the so-called solar dryer, which is just raking over the barangay
Roads.
concrete road. Okay, but then there are factors that cannot be controlled. But these are scientific factors, just the same, like climate change. You don't know anymore when the rains will come or when
to
it
plant,
will start. And of course, typhoons are very frequent in Leyte and Samar in eastern Visayas. How do you overcome those factors?
Yeah, and that's a very good question. Thank you, Jarius, because it's true. Climate change, at one point, we cannot control. And we need to be the one to adjust to the climate change because no choice. So we know and we can see and we can feel it now. There is the weather is becoming crazy. So we need to be the one to be able to adjust. So we know before the typhoon season here in Leyte was November, December, and early January. Now, because of the climate change, those periods will change. So maybe next year it will be September, October, November. So what we need to do, we need to be able to adjust. So that means when it's June planting, maybe we should do May planting. We just need to adjust because of the climate change. It's not the typhoon are not going to be in November, December. Maybe they will be earlier. So we need to do earlier planting, and that's we should work with also all the irrigation association to be able to release the water earlier. We need to work all together. And the problem here in the Philippines, people are not communicating together. You know,
you're dealing with 4,000 farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're dealing with 4,000 farmers. How do you get them to agree to adjusting to the weather, for instance?
Yeah,
communicating with each other.
Yes, we try to explain, and most of the time they understand. But the challenge is if the irrigation association, they don't release water, you cannot do planting. So we should work all together. You understand? When DA now with the RCEF program, DA is providing free seeds to all the farmers in the Philippines, but if they don't release early enough, they cannot plant. So they are just waiting to have the seeds. So at one point, it's common sense. We should work all together and try to understand what are the issues on the climate change, and to decide maybe we should plant earlier or later to be able to avoid all those typhoon and heavy rain.
Yeah, those issues, Patrick. They need to solve such issues. You need to be dealing with government agencies and officials and bureaucrats. How do you find that?
Once again, the Filipino government and even the previous administration, and now we have a new president, and he's willing to agree. So we hope he's going to change and to be able to improve. But even the previous government was really helping the farmer, you know, but giving the free seeds, free water, providing mechanization all over the Philippines. So it's a big help. What we need to understand is why there is no improvement. Why we still rely on importation. Mm-hmm. So we should all sit at the same table. People like us, like millers, people trying to help the farmer with programs, with DA, with RCEF, with Phil Rice, IRI, all those people, and also the agrarian reform, the DAR, and to understand how we can change and how we can improve our farmers and our rice industry in the Philippines. The Philippines is an agri country. Why we are such dependent on importation? Not only for rice, but it's the same for the garlic, onions, flour. It doesn't make sense. We should be able to have food security program here in the Philippines, and we need to understand how we can help the farmer to really improve production here in the Philippines.
Patrick, would you have a figure on how much a leap or a production improvement have you done with your help, with Renucci's help?
With the seeds and the fertilizer.
Yes. And then I will talk about the fertilizer, because one of the big problems now in the Philippines, and not only in the Philippines, in the world, it's the fertilizer. There is a big crisis. Yes, but for you to understand how the Renucci milling, the Cheney, and our program, how we were able to help, because it's very difficult to see. Okay, when we arrived in Alangalang was a third-class municipality. Nobody knew Alangalang. Alangalang was a little town in the province, and nobody knew about it, and it was very small. after a few years, Alangalang became a second-class municipality.
Okay.
And now, in Alangalang, we have a Jollibee, we have a mall, we have a football, we have an hotel. So that's how we were able to help the community.
What kind of fertilizers are you using?
So now the problem of the fertilizer, first we were using Yara fertilizer, which is a Norway company and one of the best fertilizer in the world, and that's what we were providing to the farmer at a very, very low interest loan. But now the supply, because of the war in Russia and in Ukraine, the supply of fertilizer is quite challenging because there is not enough fertilizer in the world.
So you have to source it locally?
Yes. So we were able to find a Filipino company who is producing a new kind of fertilizer, 100% natural, made out of the stone, because we have to go way back a long time ago. Before, nobody was using fertilizer. It's because all the water
are you referring, Patrick, are you referring to Nature Tech?
Exactly.
Oh, I know the person behind that. He was my classmate from grade school. Archibald Po, is it? Is this the same company we're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, small world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, we met those people, and, in Cheni we have demo farm, and we have a school also. We have a school with TESDA to be able to educate the farmer.
Okay.
And we have more,
so that solves problem number 3, which is no one wants to go into farming anymore. So now you're even able to convince or encourage them to go into farming education.
Exactly. Because we believe all of this, if you want to change, you have to go through education. So that's why we set up a school to be able to teach the young people how to do farming and for them to understand that you can make money into farming. Why all around the world you have gentlemen farmers? When you go to Europe, you see the farmers they are the Range Rover, and or in the US they have their own plane. I mean, why in the Philippines the farmers are so poor? So we need to understand, and we need to educate our young farmer for them to be able to understand how they can make money into farming. Farming is so important.
Okay.
The farmers are the ones feeding the country, and that's why we have to take care of them. Because
Patrick,
if tomorrow...
passion.
Thank you very much for your passion.
May I nominate you for an outstanding honorary Filipino?
Okay. It's too bad we're running out of time. Can we interview you again sometime in the future? Because we'd like to discuss the fertilizer you're using because you said it's all natural. You get it from our own mineral resources here. We'd like to discuss how you apply it, where people will get it. But in the meantime, how can people order rice
from Renucci?
Yeah.
But we have a website, and you can order online, and all around Manila, essentially, we are the website or the rice selling online number 1. So it's very easy. You go online, you go on Facebook, you can order, but just for Metro Manila.
Okay.
Just for Metro Manila. Yes.
Okay.
But just let me just add, Jarius. I know we are short in time and speak a lot, but when we have this farm school and we have demo farms, and every time someone comes to us and to promote a new product, we always try. For the pest control, fertilizer, and that's how we found NatureTech. NatureTech, at one point, they told us, do a test, and we did the test on the big trial. So 1.5 hectare with traditional fertilizer and 1.5 hectare with NatureTech, and we were surprised that the NatureTech farm was growing much better than the traditional fertilizer.
Yeah.
But so that's the solution, and it's Filipino made. But the beauty out of this, it's the cost you have to spend today for farm in fertilizer, it's around 25,000 pesos.
Yes.
If you use the NatureTech protocol, you will only spend 8,500 pesos. So that's
only 1/4
solution.
Wow.
Yes, it's
okay. That's why we'll need to talk about it at length in one other episode. In the meantime, thank you very
so
much, Patrick.
Thank you, Marisa.
Congratulations to you and to Rachel.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
God bless you. Mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Patrick Renucci ng Renucci Partnership Program, yung dalisay variety nila, ang third best rice in the world.
Ako magpapasalamat kay Ted Filon kasi siya nag-introduce sa akin sa Renucci rice. Pinadalhan niya ako at pinatikim ako. Naku, sarap. Sabi ko ba, okay pala to. Parang, sabi ko, ngayon lang ako nakatikim uli nito. Parang kaani pa lang.
Oo. Actually, marami tayong text na nag-i-inquire kung magkano, kung saan ma-check.
I-check niyo sa website. Magugulat kayo sa presyo, ha?
Facebook. Magulat nga itong isang...
Magugulat kayo sa presyo. Para kayong bumili sa ano rin, ano?
1,175 ang 25 kilos nung dinurado. Tapos yung premium is 1,400.
Oo. Mas mahal lang na magkano? 20 pesos. Parang ganun, ano? Sa ibang, ano. Pero ito, sigurado kayo masarap. Oo. Pero wag masyadong lalakas ang kain, ha? Oo. Ingat lang kasi alam niyan man, diabetes. Nagiging sugar yan.
Okay.
At ngayon, balikan natin ang programang Sapol ni Jarius Bondoc.
9:55. It's 9:55.
Alam mo, yung naabangan ko talaga, Miss Marisa, yung mga advisories na gano'n, nila Joe Saldariaga ng Meralco. Ang dami na itutulong eh. Halimbawa, nakakatipid ka ba talaga sa kuryente using a convection stove? Naituturo nila, ilang percent ang tipid mo. Tapos ngayon, yung power bank, buti yan, nalalaman natin, how much should we charge our gadgets, Tapos yung power bank po.
Ano ang capacity naman?
Kasi kung hindi, magkakasayan lang ng kuryente, di ba? Walang...
I expect na magagamit mo, yung pala underpowered ka.
Oo. Importante malaman natin lahat yan eh. Kasi, di ba, pag sama-samahin mo lahat yan, makakatipid tayo eh.
Oo nga. Ay, nakakatawa itong text ni Evangeline. You are engaging as you are so okay, even if guests are scarce. We learn more from you. You are doing well, actually, with all the wealth of your research and knowledge.
Thank you, Evangeline. Kala ko sasabihin mo, mayabang ako dahil nung bata ako, marami akong chicks. Joke only.
Si Beth naman, your guest.
Mag-aral kayo ng gitara o piano. Pagka nag-aral kayo ng piano, hindi kailangan may piano sarili sa bahay. Okay, makitugtog lang sana. Pero pag marunong kayo ng piano, matututunan nyo na din mas madali yung ibang instrumento. Okay.
Sabi ni Beth, your guest now is better than guests who may be lying psychopaths.
Ay, oo. Ang galing ni
Believe
Patrick.
ako sa passion ni Patrick.
Oo.
Okay.
Kaya nga, honorary Filipino yung sinasabi mo. No?
Sabi ni RG Chell, good morning po. Sir, Jarius, hindi po ba pwedeng isumbong yan mga yan? Para ayusin po mga yan?
Yung ano?
Sa
yung kinikwento natin kanina. Oo, yung sa transport. Alam na dapat yan eh. Siguro kasi ngayon, Secretary of Agriculture, si President Marcos mismo, Marcos Jr., as President, niya yung whole of government approach siguro dito na ayusin yung agrikultura. Yung iba kasi rito malulutas ng Department of Finance, yung sa Customs, sa BIR, yung mga issues dyan. Tapos yung Department of Trade and Industry, yung pati mga EPSA, mga ganyan, yung mga free port, saka Export Zone Authority. Department of Transportation, yung mga rules na lang ganyan. Tapos standardize natin yung mga presyo ng pilotage, yung mga ganyan, sa mga puerto, di ba? Tsaka sa mga airports. Naku, nagtambak, tsaka yung ganyang, bakit magtatambak yung mga ganyan? Magkaisa-isa yung mga ahensya ng gobyerno. Di ba?
Okay. Good morning kay Roberto Tapia. He's always watching down from Letre, Malabon.
Thank you, Roberto.
Si Jane Serrano, Miss Jane Serrano ng Quezon City. Good morning, Idol Jarius and beautiful Marisa.
Hi, Jane.
Dapat po siguro. I'm sorry. Dapat po siguro may mga specific items na government ang bibili sa farm. Example, bawang, sibuyas, carrots, at iba pang items na favorite pataasin ng mga middleman. Bihira na kami makagamit ng bawang from Ilocos. Sobrang mas mahal. Local lang, pero mas mahal pa kaysa sa imported.
Kung maalala
More
nyo,
power and God bless us.
oo, alam mo kung maalala nyo, mga kaibigan, ano, nung nakapanayam natin to, ang ganda ng sinasabi ni former Senate President Tito Soto, nung last June lang, nung iniimbestigahan ng Senado yung agri-smuggling, nakapanayam natin dito at sinabi niya, alam mo isang solusyon sa atin, yung pera ng gobyerno, sa lokal at national, ipambili ng kalahati ng produce, automatic, kalahati ng lahat ng farm
At
produce,
their price, ano?
bilhin,
At
oo,
their
ng
price.
magandang presyo, tapos ibenta ng mura din sa consumers. I-factor in mo na lang yung cost of transportation, yung cost of labor, mga ganun, ano. Tapos mababawi ng local and national government yung pera, paikutin mo na lang yung pera, bili ka uli, benta mo uli, directly to sa mga trading posts sa consumers, yung ganun, ano, sa supermarkets, pwede naman eh. May mga ganun naman sa mga rural areas na ngayon di ba? Yung tulad na may mga kainan na, may mga hotel na doon sa Galang Leyte.
Okay, si Ronnie Nepo, abuso na rin pagtataas ng mga negosyante sa mga gasolina, commodities. Abuso na po sila. Sayang nga, si late President Ferdinand Marcos, yan ang gusto niya, magkaroon ng sariling dollar ang Asia. Si Teresa Virina, grabe, talagang hindi uunlad ang Pilipinas sa ganitong kalakaran. Lahat may padulas. Ibibigay para lang tuloy-tuloy ang negosyo. Kaya taas presyo mga bilihin.
Yun nga.
Terrible.
Oo.
Okay,
Pagkain lalo na, ha?
Oo, kami magpapaalam na. Thank you for keeping us company these past 2 hours. Salamat sa aming mga guests and sponsors at sa ating technical support kay Winer Contehino, Communication Assistants Maze Alino Dayon, Joanne Punay, Jessa Barameda, News Writers Hannah Oledan and Gilbert Perdes, at sa SOCMED si Joanna Luna. Thank you. Have a good day.
Jarius Bondoc po magpapaalalahan. Nagdadasal tayo dapat parati. Napakasarap na makipag-communicate sa Diyos. Thank you. Have a good day. Abangan, kasunod po kagad natin sina
Jerry Flores and Sally Ortega Bueno sa
Mr. Taxman.
Sumainyo ang Sapul ni Jarius Bondoc hanggang sa susunod na Sabado. Muling abangan sina Miss Marisa at ang inyong batikang kolumnista at iskupero, Mr. Jarius Bondoc sa programa Sapul ni Jarius Bondoc.